Okay, here we are back for part two. Sorry about that. I had to cut that short. My iPad ran out of storage. So anyway, we're back up and running after deleting a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so we're getting back to this table. Obviously, we've got all our markers, and now we're just working with pencil just to add a bit of extra to the various parts of the drawing that we need to. So here I'm just adding some extra pencil work into the legs of the table. So we've got our tea green on top, and we're adding all the objects in and using some pencil work to complete all these various colours. So on this vase here, I've used a bit of white just on the edge there. Obviously there's some light coming in from the side, and also on the plate you see that there's a little bit of reflection and what have you on that as well. So we're adding that in. So essentially here you'll probably see in our photo, this is just a little bit of reflection coming off the wall over the top here. So again, all of these things you can just put a tiny little bit of colour onto. So it's just indicating that there is some reflection happening from elsewhere. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on there. And you can see on the book that this little looks like bronze or brass bowl is, we've got the shape, so we need to keep that shape reflecting down into the book. And we've got a little bit of the light that's just shining off this book because obviously it's a cover that's shiny. So that sort of gives us the sense that we've got glass. As I mentioned before, we're using just pencil to do the zigzag pattern here. We've put the tan colour over top of the greys here for the ottoman. We've got the warm grey pencil texture just in our rug. And I've used the black warm 10 for this chair. And here on this couch I was working with grey tones just to essentially bump up. So this cushion here, for example, just adding in the extra depth that we needed and different folds and things in these cushions. So I've also added in a little bit of darker tone in here with the marker, and then you can just blend that out with pencil. So really it's the same techniques as we've used for everything else. We're just using our grey tone markers underneath and then using pencil for colour or for extra blending and shading. So here where I put some extra marker in here just to get that darker, and then I can use pencil over top. So it's the same here. So again, it's just adding in my texture. Now on this side, what I've done is from the original floor, so I started with that, so it's quite light, and I've just been adding in essentially grey tones to get it darker, because as you see in the photo it is actually quite dark. I haven't even got it as dark as that yet. And then what I've done is in here I've actually added in just a little hint of pencil to indicate that there's a pattern on the floor. And I've also used a black pencil here on this ottoman just to give us some extra texture, and there's obviously a pattern for that. And I've used a blue pencil to start doing the pattern on the cushions. And into this top of this table I've basically used tea green and a grey. So you can use a cool grey for that. I can just find my cool grey. So this is the reflection of the curtains. So essentially you're going to just very lightly put down some strokes here to indicate that it's the reflection of the curtains in the background. You'll see that I've got this, what looks like a metal container with some roses in, so I've just done that in greys as well, but I've got the mirror reflection of it down into the table, so you just repeat that. This looks like a chessboard, and this is a pile of books. So again, just using the greys, and then over top of this, I can then, if I need to, put whatever pattern I want in there. So that hopefully will give you enough idea to get going with. On the side of this brass table, I've used grey tones, and then over top here I've been using either a yellow pencil, and here this is just grey with the pencils, grey and pencils, just to give me that tone as well. So hopefully, class, that's enough for you to work on. But yes, in the background, so again, just repeating, just using that tea green, and over on this side I've used tea green, and then I've used a cool grey just over top, just to indicate that there's some hills or there's some landscape in the background. So I think that should be enough to get you going. Thanks, students.